Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to LPRs Delivery. As you know, air traffic controllers in Thailand, they work sometimes in the daytime and sometimes at night. So today, our lesson will be about talking about your work schedules. First of all, we'll talk about your routines. As you know, we can say, I work in shifts, or I do shift work. So if you remember, when we talk about routines, we're talking about something that's always true. So you always work in shifts, or you always do shift work. Now, many industries like this one, like the shipbuilding industry, they also work in shifts. So these two guys, they work the night shift. Or we could say, he works the night shift. Because these two guys always work the night shift. That's pretty typical in many industries. Or for example, these guys, we could say, they work the day shift. Or he works the day shift. Again, because they always work the day shift, or they routinely work the day shift. Now, quick thing about pronunciation. All of these words in yellow are compound nouns. If you'll remember from several lessons ago that we emphasize or stress the first word in a compound noun. So we'd say, we do shift work. He works the night shift. She works the day shift. I work the morning shift. So remember for these words to stress the first word. Now, what about in Thailand? If we look at this sentence, he works the night shift. We know that that's not true. Why? Well, because we're talking about routine if we use present simple tense. And as you know, air traffic controllers in Thailand, they don't always work the night shift. They change every day. So we could say, he's working the night shift because right now he's working the night shift, but not routinely. So how can we describe this as a routine? We can just basically say he works in shifts, or he does shift work. But we could also say he alternates shift. So alternate means one and change and change and change, back and forth. So he alternates shifts. Or he alternates morning and night shifts. You could say the same thing about yourself or your colleagues. I work in shifts. Or we alternate shifts. Or I alternate morning and night shifts. Now, how can we talk about the timing of these shifts as a routine? Well, we can say the morning shift starts at 6:30 a.m. or begins at 6:30 a.m. and finishes or ends at 6:30 p.m. And the night shift starts or begins at 6:30 p.m. and finishes or ends at 6:30 a.m. Now, we can also say 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, etc. Any one of these times. Do remember that we use the preposition at with times, not on. So at 6:30 a.m., not on 6:30 a.m. Now, how long are these shifts? Well, it should be 12 hours, right? So the shift lasts 12 hours, but you say we work 12-hour shifts because 12-hour here is an adjective that's describing the shift. So 12-hour shifts. Now, that's a long time to work and you might feel stressed or tired, so taking breaks is very important. So how do we talk about breaks in terms of routine? Well, on duty, 3 hours, break 1 hour. On duty 3 hours, break 1 hour, etc. So when we say on duty, what verb do we use? I am on duty. Or I'm on duty for 3 hours, then I get a break, take a break, or have a break. We can use all three. So get a break means more like you are allowed to take a break. So it's like a benefit. Take a break is a bit more American, whereas have a break is a bit more British. So you can use any of these verbs when we talk about breaks. Get a 1 hour break, take a 1 hour break, or have a 1 hour break. Now, how can we talk about plans or arrangements in the near future? Let's look at this example. I'm playing tennis at 6:30 this evening with my friend at the 700-year stadium. So, if we look at this plan here, 6:30 in the evening, it's in the future. Is it sure or is it not sure? Well, if we look at this, it's got a specific time, other people are involved, and a specific place. So this is an arrangement or like an appointment. So yes, it's definitely sure. So we can use the present continuous tense to talk about our plans or our arrangements in the future. So likewise, if you want to talk about your plans for the future, maybe later today, or maybe tomorrow, we can say the same. I'm working the night shift today. Or, I'm working the morning shift tomorrow. Now, after all this work, it seems like a stressful job, but the employees at Aerotie have a very nice benefits package where you get lots of time off. So let's talk about holiday and vacation. First of all, the word holiday comes from the word holy day, which often has to do with religion. So, especially in terms of American English, a holiday is when we talk about a day marked by a general suspension of work in commemoration of an event. So things like Songkran, Christmas, these are the type of things we talk about as holidays or national holidays. However, in British English, it basically means vacation, and you use the phrase on holiday. Now, vacation is similar. However, we don't say vacation for words like Christmas or Songkran Festival. Those are holidays. However, vacation is the time off, a scheduled period in which time of activity is suspended, or the period of exemption from work granted to an employee. Which is why we see phrases like these. Keep calm, I'm on holiday. This is more British. Or, I'm on vacation this week. This would be more American. Now, we can also talk about days off in terms of leave. Leave can be a noun, which means time away from a job or a military service. Now, this is a bit different than vacation usually, because it's something that's special. So, for example, he took an unpaid leave from work. The soldiers were given a 2-month leave for the holidays. So you notice here we say an and leave and with leave, because sometimes we can use it in the singular countable way. However, this isn't very common. It's much more common to talk about leave in terms of non-countable nouns. 12 weeks of leave. A few months leave. The company granted her maternity leave. So this is a bit more common. Now, how can we talk about our days off? We can say have or get. And again, have is talking about more in general, whereas to get days off is more like you're allowed the days off. So for example, At Aerotai, we get 15 days of vacation, 12 days of sick leave, and 12 days of personal leave. Now, again about these compound nouns. Sick leave and personal leave are compound nouns, so we're going to stress the first word. For example, I haven't used any of my sick leave this year. Or, nope, isn't here today. Her mom is sick, so she's taking a few days personal leave. Again, sick leave, personal leave. So how can we use these in everyday conversation? If you're sick or you have something to do, you might call your boss and say, "Sorry, but I'm not coming in today. I'm taking the day off." Now, what can we say instead of the day off? If you want to get more specific, you can say either I'm taking the day, I'm taking a sick day, I'm taking a personal day. So these are more American ways to say these, taking the day, taking a sick day, taking a personal day. If you want to talk about leave, you can just say, I'm taking leave, or I'm taking a leave, or I'm taking personal leave, I'm taking sick leave, or I'm taking a personal leave, I'm taking a sick leave. We can use them in all of these ways. So now you know how to talk about your schedule and how to talk about shift work, and you know how to talk about your holidays. So that's it for lesson number 14. See you next time. ขอบคุณครับ